So as Danny mentioned a few minutes ago, Mayor Nicholson is not going to be joining us tonight. And so unless there are any objections, we'll just kick things off now. I'll go through the roll call. Dr. Alvarez.
Present.
Mr. Bertino, Member Castellanos,
Present.
Councilor Chakoudas, Mr. Donovan,
Present.
Ms. Drago,
Present.
Member Gately, Ms. Gerardo, Mr. Kolokides.
Present.
Wait.
I heard a wait. Did I blow by somebody?
That's present for Peter Kolokides.
Great, thank you. Councilor LaPierre, Mr. Makua, Mr. Mannion,
Present.
Mr. Marlin, Mayor McGee,
Present.
Councilor Meany,
Present.
Ms. Miller,
Present.
Mr. Ridley,
Present.
Mr. Rittershouse,
Present.
Ms. Ruggiero, and Mr. Smart told me in advance he wasn't going to be here. All right, so we do have a quorum. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Let me know when you can see that.
You can see it.
Next. All right, so tonight we've got, I'll just quickly run us through our agenda. We've got our typical administrative actions, meeting minutes, and some budgetary updates. For the project update, that'll be the main focus. We are preparing the 90% CD submission for the MSBA. And so we're going to review some of the high points with you tonight in the hopes that, and hopefully get your vote to submit that to the MSBA. We'll do a quick construction update and a quick procurement update. Then we'll go through the schedule, both the project schedule and the SBC meeting schedule. And then we've got a quick recap of the groundbreaking event that occurred in between our last meeting and now. I think it was the 20th. So first order of business are the meeting minutes that were distributed in your packet yesterday afternoon from September 18th. We're seeking a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Thank you. So we'll just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? The ayes have it. Lynn, would you like to run everyone through the financial
Sure.
update?
So this is just a quick budget update. We've committed 34% of the budget, and we have expended 10% to date. And we are 100% through the 90% construction document phase. In terms of our cash flow, we're tracking behind what our projected expenditures were. And again, that has to do with the extended time before we were able to start construction. We're hoping to catch that up as we move forward in construction.
Thank you, Lynn. So the next topic of conversation is that design update, the 90% CD submission. Gene, do you want to give everyone just a quick overview of what it's all about and what it entails?
I will. We distributed the 60% submission a few months back, and you probably received I don't know if it's 1,400 pages or whatever it is. Excuse me. So MSBA's interest in the 90% is, you know, the drawings have been progressed, you know, from 60 to 90%. So there's more detail. Some of the early packages have actually been bid and awarded, and they want everybody to do the typical 2 estimates, one by RDA's estimator and one by Consigli's estimating department at the 90% level, to make sure that the project is still trending on budget. We haven't gone to the problem, we haven't gone to providing everybody with 90%, you know, 1,400 pages of 90% documents, because everything is pretty much exactly as it was in the CD 60 submission. All the reports are the same, and really kind of the difference is the financial analysis. And as I said, the documents are essentially the same. The design hasn't changed at all. We're just detailing all the various things, like pieces of casework or window details, et cetera, et cetera. So our plan is to submit that on Monday to MSBA. And as part of that submission, that's why Craig and Lynn are asking for your guys' approval, knowing the project's on budget, to make the submission to MSBA. So.
Thank you, Gene. Very good synopsis. As you were saying, you know, the table of contents for the 90% CD submission is the same as the 60% CD submission, so it's just a matter of more refinement. So you've got a couple, but as you pointed out, there are some, you know, the big thing is keeping an eye on the cost estimate. So I'll just give everyone a quick overview of how that went down. The 90% construction drawings and specs were issued for cost estimating back on September 9th. Consigli and PMC so PMC working on behalf of RDA and Consigli working on behalf of the owner do independent cost estimates, kind of in their own bubbles. They spend 3 weeks on it each. And then we came together on October 3rd for a reconciliation meeting. And we go through the both estimates kind of line by line to see where the differences are, make sure that the same scope has been understood by both estimators, share information about what the current market trends are, and basically try to get the two as close together as we can, but understanding that there are going to be some differences of opinions and slightly different takes on things, but it usually comes out in the wash, as they say. So that revised, and then the next step is each cost estimator revises their cost estimate so that we've now got reconciled cost estimates. And so those were available on October 11th, just this past Friday. And the kind of bottom line is that the project is still within budget, which is great. This is. Does someone have a question? Okay, I'll keep going. This is a quick peek at what that looks like. You know, the designer cost estimate is the column on the is the rectangle on the left, with each line item having a value. The construction manager, Consigli's cost estimate is that rectangle in the middle, and then the reconciled amount is over on the right column. And then that you can see that cell that's in yellow. So that is our budget, and that, you know, actually I got an enlargement.
It's important to note that the budget that's there in yellow is the budget that is carried in the project funding agreement. And that last column of cost is what we did as left field. We took the CM's cost estimate, as they are the ones that will be in control of the construction costs and schedule moving forward. We took their estimate, and we we made adjustments to get it to where we were with the project funding agreement budget. And by doing that, we added the $9 that consiglia was below budget into the design and pricing contingency. Basically doing that until we get through bidding and through the final GMP process.
Here's sort of another look at that. There's a smaller table, PM&C and RDA's cost estimate on the left, consigli in the middle, and the numbers that have the red rectangles, those are the important ones, right? We've got our total project budget. We've got the other 140 million one. It was consigli's kind of final number, and then over on the right hand side, the delta between the two. We always try to get 1% or lower, and this did come in at 0.8%, so successful there. Lynn and Jean, do we want to quickly talk about some of the details or keep moving onto value engineering items?
I'll quickly talk about them for a minute, and if Gene wants to chime in, he can. So we identified 3 alternates, we call them. We are still carrying a design and pricing contingency, just because we want to make sure that we can bid this project within the budget that we've given you. We're hoping that we can get these 3 items within our design and pricing contingency as we move to 100%. But for now, just to make sure that we can get this bid at the budget that we've been given, we identified some alternates here that we will include in the bid documents so that we have breakout pricing for these and we can award them as we're able to within the budget.
Another sort of safety mechanism is the value engineering list. So we did not have to take any of these or ask this committee to take any of them, but consigli has provided 6 different ideas of ways to reduce cost and what that over on the right, what that cost reduction might be. So these would, if we were over budget, these are things that we could pull out of the scope, but as Lynn was saying, because we were able to get the project to budget, these are just something that we submit to the MSBA, something that we have in our back pocket, but nothing that we need to take action on. Before we get to a motion, does anyone have any questions about what we've presented so far? Then the next step would be we're seeking a motion to approve the 90% construction document submission and authorize Left Field to transmit it to the MSBA on Monday.
We will be providing a link to the submission, so there'll be plenty of time for people to take a look at it, make any comments that you want, and we have the next month in order to incorporate any comments that are provided.
So motion approved.
I heard a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so this one we'll do a roll call vote. Mayor Nicholson, Dr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Bertino, Member Castellanos,
Yes.
Councilor Chakoudas, Mr. Donovan,
Yes.
Ms. Drago,
Yes.
Member Gately, Ms. Gerardo, Mr. Kolakidis,
Yes.
Councilor LaPierre, Mr. Makua, Mr. Mannion. Is he still here? Looks like he is. Mr. Mannion, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second.
We can hear you now.
Sorry, too far back. Yes.
Thank you. Awesome. Mr. Marlin,
Yes.
Mayor McGee,
Yes.
Councilor Meany, Councilor Meany, are you still there? We'll come back. We'll come back in a moment. Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Ridley,
Yes.
Mr. Rittershouse,
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero, Ms. Ruggiero, I can see you're there. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Yes.
Thank you. And then Mr. Smart is not here. Councilor Meany? Well, even without Councilor Meany's vote, we do, the motion carries. So thank you. So we will, finish packaging that up. As Lynn mentioned, we'll provide you with a link so that you can, review it. It is a large document, so, and then on Monday, we will transmit it to the MSBA. And so this is a major milestone, so thank you all. And thank you RDA and Consigli for all your work. Next topic, just a quick update on the procurement. So we have solicited trade contractors for the main bid package, which is coming in November. We received statements of qualification between September 25th and October 11th. And these are for all the trade contractors that will be participating on the project. The great news is that we received at least 3 per trade, and most were more than 3. So the next step is the pre-qualification subcommittee is going to meet next week. We'll go through all of these statements of qualification and hopefully come up with a nice long list of pre-qualified trade contractors who will be bidding on the project. The bid documents will be available November 15th. We'll reach out directly to all the pre-qualified trade contractors, but we'll also put an advertisement in the Central Register on November 20th. And then we're anticipating trade contractor and non-trade subcontractors to submit their bids December 12th. And so that's procurement kind of in a nutshell. Any questions about that? And this is the final procurement for the main part of the project.
Right, where will the bids be opened?
So great question. So nowadays we do electronic bid openings. And so the morning of, so everyone's got to submit their bids online. And then 1 minute after the bid deadline, all the results are in hand. And so then they get tabulated and shared with the project team. We'll go through them, make sure that everything is proper and start looking through and tabulating the values. And so to answer your question, it's not like back in the day where we would all get together in a conference room somewhere and there'd be the public watching. It's all done online.
Okay, Craig, I was in the old days.
Yep. So yeah, the modern day electronic bidding is becoming more and more popular, and it really is a big time saver and provides actually more transparency because everyone has access to the information, even if you can't physically get there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Next thing, we wanted to give you an update on the construction. And I believe Brandon, we've got two things for you. One, which is just this updated logistics plan, but then also, Brandon, were you able to get a video?
Yeah, I have a drone shot.
Fantastic. All
All
right.
right, good evening, everyone. This is the typical logistics plan that we've been sharing with you all along. So you see we've transitioned into the SOE or foundation phase, as we've called it, in our phasing logistics plan. We are working on the removal of soil within the building footprint. Our next goal here as a project team is really get that down to grade and get ready to start our ground improvements and then foundations this winter.
Great. All right. So now I'll stop sharing my screen so you can share.
Do you need to give me special access, Craig?
Oh, yeah, probably. Sorry. There we go. All right. Now give it a try.
All right, can you see that now?
It's coming up. There it is.
All right, so once a month, our team does a drone flight. We see it as a good opportunity to get a good, like, higher up view of the project, see how everything's going. We'll present this at our monthly meetings to everyone here at the SBC. You can see we are excavating and hauling out soil from that building footprint here. You see the line of the supportive excavation that was completed this past summer all around it. That's our main task. You can see a soil truck backing up here, right up to that excavator. Idea is to live load out all this soil, running various numbers of trucks each day to multiple facilities, depending on what soil classification it is. But that's our main activity that you're going to see here for the next 3 or so weeks still. You can still see our temporary playground set up here just south of the existing school. Not much has changed over there since we turned it over. Give a little highlight, scroll here. We've added a second MWRA bridge, which I believe I highlighted last month with close-up shots, but you really see it here. We will have a third crossing over here to allow for the full logistics of trucks to be able to get around and closer to that building as we start to think about future deliveries, steel, concrete, and so on and so forth. Any questions while we watch this video here?
Brandon,
Brandon,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
Brandon, when do you expect the first footings to go in?
Likely sometime in late November to early December right now. We still
Okay,
have a little
thank
bit
you.
of work with ground improvements once we excavate out to that bottom elevation of subgrade.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you ran your cursor over the supportive excavation walls there, Brandon, that's kind of the footprint of the building, right?
Yes. And then you'll see on this side, to Gene's point, it will daylight. We've called it a couple times like three-sided in a way. That first level is built into, we're going to basically create the built-in environment of that ground level slab. And then the second floor will be up at ground level on the north side of the building here. But that is the building footprint.
It's fun to see.
It is.
Yeah.
Look how pretty the city of Lynn is.
Yeah, it's a perfect day for it.
It was.
Nice blue skies.
All right, if there's no other questions, Craig, I can turn this back over to you for the screen.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brandon. Okay. Can you see my screen again?
Yes.
Yes.
Lynn, would you walk everyone through the schedule?
Sure, this is the schedule you've seen pretty much from the beginning. It shows we are just past the 90% CD phase. We've completed the 90% drawings, the estimating process, and are in the process of packaging up the submittal to MSBA. We will be entering the 100% construction document phase next week. And within we have 1 month for that phase, and we'll be finishing up and wrapping up all the drawings and specs and getting them ready for bidding by the middle of November. Right now, we're showing bidding from mid-November to December 12th, as Greg had said. But there is a holiday in the middle of that, so we'll be paying attention to that, making sure we get good coverage on all of the trades. And if we need to extend that some in order to make sure we do that, we can evaluate that as well. But we're, as you saw in the drone video, we're well in the early bid package work, and we'll be transitioning into the main school construction work as we wrap up the final GMP in January. All this is still on target to turn the school over in January. We do have you know, a tight schedule to make sure that that happens, because you know, we did have a little bit of a delayed start with the MIPA process and also with Holland soils off site, but Consequently is working hard to make sure we maintain our schedule and turn the school over in January.
Thank you, Lynn. So our next steps, 90% CD submission will go in on Monday, Monday, October 21st. Our next building committee meeting is November 13th. That main bid package will go out to the street November 15th. And then our last meeting, our last regular SBC meeting of the year will be December 18th. Any questions about schedule? All right, go ahead. Did someone have something they wanted to say or ask? Okay. Might have been background noise. So just a quick recap of that groundbreaking event. For everyone who was there, I think you'll agree it went really well. We were under overcast skies, but that was okay, way better than rain. There were a number of speakers. Principal Rittenhouse brought a group of 6th graders there, which was really awesome. They'll be the first students to experience the new building. Some photo ops. Consigli did a great job kind of getting us set up with a big pile of dirt. So we had lots of photos and a good time. Another thing that Consigli's drone did is anyone who was there, you might have noticed it was flying around while the groundbreaking event was happening, and they were actually testing out their video and zooming in, zooming out, so that there's no audio from the drone video. But so I apologize, I overdubbed it with some kind of goofy music, but and condensed it down to just 1 minute. So I'll show this for everybody who wasn't able to make it. Oops. All right, we don't want to go through it again. There we go.
Fred, can I just say thank you for inviting the kids? They had a ball. They keep asking when they can go out and dig more dirt, so they look forward to the opening.
Fantastic. Yes, having the kids there was great. It definitely reminded everybody, you know, like what all the work is for. It's, you know, for the kids, so in the city. So any questions or thoughts? All right, then we'll close with just a reminder that, you know, our project website, we continue to update it with construction progress photos every week. This video, as well as others, go on the YouTube channel. And so please continue spreading the word so we can keep the public engaged and informed. And that was it. So I'll stop sharing. Any questions, comments, closing thoughts? Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. I guess we're seeking a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. All right. Well, have a nice night, everybody.
Good night.
Great to see
Thank
great to see
you.
everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Well done.